Hi everyone, here we are again at the Circus Laboratory to show you a video tutorial of the analog input connections to the TESDA board of the Iris Box PC. We are going to explain the hardware requirements to make a proper connection and calibration of the analog inputs of the TESDA board. As you know, the analog inputs accepts the 4 to 20 milliamp input signal format, both in active or passive mode. You can see the correct connection diagram in the user manual of the TESDA board, which is available for downloading from our website. Okay, so we suppose we have already connected the different inputs to be calibrated. Here we can see the connector of the 4 analog inputs. In this case we have connected a couple of them, the analog input 0 and the analog input 1, the first and the second of the 4 available channels. Here what we have is a precision accurate calibration multimeter that will generate the 4 to 20 milliamp input signal. Okay, the first thing we have to do before starting the testing and calibration utility is to adjust the jumpers to configure if the hardware will accept an active or a passive connection. So to do this we have to switch off the unit and we have to remove the power supply connector of the courier board. Okay, and over the TESDA board we have different jumpers, 4 different jumpers, each one of them corresponding to one analog input, and according to the user manual we have to configure these 4 jumpers to settle if the connection will correspond to an active or passive current loop. Active will mean that the 4 to 20 milliamp signal is directly provided by an external device, so from the Iris point of view there is no power supply required. And a passive connection will mean that the sensor that generates the current loop needs a supply coming from the Iris. So the Iris Box PC provides an 18 volts DC auxiliary power supply for these cases, for the passive connectors, and depending on the kind of connector we use, we should configure these jumpers. I insist that everything is explained at the user manual. So once we have configured the 4 jumpers, we have to connect according to this difference between active or passive. That's everything we need. We insert again the power supply connector and we switch on the unit. That's everything we need for starting the testing. Once we have connected the unit, we have to switch on the calibration multimeter generator. Okay, and if we activate the generation of the signal, we will have an input, an active input of this generated value. It is important to have a very well calibrated multimeter from a range coming from 4 up to 20 milliamps, okay? Which will be our full scale range. In the next video tutorial we will show how to use both the testing software we provide with the unit and the calibration software that runs on Windows CE devices. Thanks very much, and until the next tutorial. Thank you.
Every